Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Dave.
And I'm Lisa.
And welcome to the Life Group Herald.
Yes, number 2.
Yeah, every single time we film this, there's this fall thing. So should we change that based on the season? Because it is almost fall.
Well, so it's perfect.
It's perfect now, but it might not be perfect.
In the winter, we'll put some Christmas ornaments.
Ooh, I like it. That's what we'll do. All right, well, we just started a brand new sermon series on Abraham called Abraham, a Field Guide to Loving God. That's what we're going through. And a couple of you have written in about some questions, so we wanted to address those questions.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that's new and different for us in the last few months is that we have live teaching on both of our campuses. So Saratoga and South Hills, Costa de Fe, no matter where you're at, somebody live is teaching. So there's been some wondering what if where you go addresses something different than where I go? How will we know what to discuss in our groups?
Right, and so just a couple of thoughts on that. Number one, in the back of each chapter, and also on our Life Group Leader page on Westgate Church, we have a list of all the discussion questions. Now, these discussion questions, there's about 10 per chapter. Way too many. Way too many for any life group. But out of these, we're hopeful that they will hit on a theme. We've written them with the idea of hitting on a theme or an idea of that weekend's message. Yes. And even though there's 2 different teachers, we work really hard and have lots of meetings and have lots of conversations about what it means to sync those. So, for example, if I'm sharing a story from the book at the South Hills campus, Jay obviously can't share that story. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But there's a similar story that Jay can share at the Saratoga that hits it, and we'll hit on the same ideas and the big principles, because what we're trying to get through is one thing. Number one, get through the story of Abraham, and number 2, draw out what are the core thematic lessons from this text. Yeah. And so that's going to be the same whether you're at South Hills or Saratoga or Costa de Fe. And those questions at the back of the chapter, if you watch the sermon and read the chapter, there's going to be at least a couple of questions that you can easily pull out the core or the meat from the sermon. And even if you don't exactly know what to do, just simply asking people, hey, this past weekend, what most impacted you, or what did you have questions about, or what resonated with you the most, that usually is enough for a long enough at least that's our experience.
Oh, absolutely. Also, one of the things that I brought up to our teaching team early on was, as you're preparing to teach as the teachers, will you please read the questions for that week that you're teaching on, so that you're aware what life groups are already planning to be discussing. So they're working really hard at doing that. And
that helps us get to the core message of whatever the aspect of Abraham's story is. So we try really hard to center ourselves on that. Okay. Second thing. What's the second thing?
The second thing. Oh, what should it be? Oh, I know. Guys, here we go again. It's the fall, and the world around us is still not quite sure, if we wear masks inside or outside and all those kind of things. And as life groups, we just want to straight on deal with the elephant in the room, that this fall might be bumpy a little bit for some groups. It will be full of opportunities for you to really know what it is to love one another. Yeah. Right?
We're just seeing so much swirling anxiety and fear, confusion, upheaval. Mm-hmm. And in times of change and upheaval, and there's so much going on, it's just really imperative for us, I think, as leaders to, number one, what's your expression? Be prayed up.
Be prayed up before your group, before you click on if you're online, or before your peeps come, wherever you're at. Be sure your heart is in a place that you're open to God's leading. Hopefully you've come prepared and you know which of the questions you think you're going to ask, and you're excited to just get to know each other better. But as you know, we got to hold loosely, because people come with different things on different weeks. But if you're not prayed up, then at least for me, I tend to react rather than to respond to things. If I'm not okay, God, this is your group time together. Give me wisdom. Help me to know how to navigate when 2 people have different opinions about a subject that comes up that's dicey.
Or when something kind of messy comes up in the group. I know often if I'm not prayed, sometimes I'll be like, well, why would you say that? Or, what's going on? And I react internally in a way I don't think it's kind. and it doesn't really help things. So I think being prayed up and seeing this is really critical. And the other thing is, just we talk about this all the time, but when you're a leader in a church setting, you're a servant, and that's the primary metaphor the Bible gives us is leaders are servants. And so having a spirit of humility to listen and to really try to understand what people, sometimes I found the strongest opinions that come out are often because of hurt, and I have to, and fear and confusion. So it's like, sometimes it's like wading through some of that messy, but that's why it's so great that we're together. Embodied people need embodied people, and we're finally able to do that. So it's an amazing opportunity. And so just a reminder to pray. And
well, like any family, right?
Yeah.
It's not perfect all the time. Every once in a while it gets a little bit messy and you have to have those hard conversations. But we just want to, from the get-go of our fall season, just know we trust you with the people that you lead. We're not going to do it perfectly. We never do. But we trust your hearts, and we just want you to know we're praying for you, and also super excited. I mean, God's going to do some amazing things that as you look back, you're going to be like, how did we ever get through that? Can you imagine? Like, how did we get through the last 2 years?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but we did.
Here we are.
We held loosely and we held on to God. And it was messy at times and it wasn't perfect, but hey, we're on this side of it and we can look back and see the lessons that we've learned and how God has, if we allow it, allowed our hearts to go deeper in Him and trust Him in deeper and greater ways.
And the Abraham series is filled with some really deep questions and deep ideas. Abraham is deeply challenged in his daily life to trust God even though when it doesn't make sense, and to obey Him when He doesn't have all the information. That's just like us. And then to be obedient to God and to be loyal and committed to Him above all else in a world full of idols. That's just like us. There's so many things that are so common with Abraham that can translate right to our lives. So I'm actually really excited about it because an opportunity to be together means an opportunity to grow together. And so
look at that. We should do like a shirt or something.
Yeah, we should.
Be together, grow together.
Any other final thoughts, Lisa?
No, just thank you. You guys, we're super excited for you this fall and what God's going to do in you personally, first and foremost, and then how that like kind of flows out into your groups.
Yeah.
Thank you for creating space for people. It's been amazing the amount of people trying to get in to community.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And I think people are really hungry to have real conversations with real people. So it's exciting. Yeah. So thanks, guys.
So thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful week, and we'll be back in a couple more weeks with Dave and Lisa.
Yeah, here it is.
All right.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.